The world is very chaotic energetically right now, so let's talk about what that means for you. So, when you look out into the wild and you can see people doing really amazing things for the planet, and then right next to those people are just like the craziest Karens you've ever seen. How can these people exist simultaneously? Well, the answer is they kind of don't. They kind of don't. So, let me show you like how I see it. There are the 3D energy people who are just very anchored in the energy of the 3D world, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. That's just where they're at vibrationally. That's where they're at on their path. And then you have the people who are more 5D energy. The 3D energy people are going to be more like complaining about other people, very other people focused, because they haven't yet learned how to look in here, because that's hard the first time. Like, I get it, right? But if you're not able to look in here, then you have nothing else to focus on. So you're going to be focused on out here. These are the people who are gossiping about other people, who are angry with their neighbors, who are starting fights, just engaging in behaviors that are either completely unaware of other people or hyper focused to an insane degree on other people. Then you have 5D energy people who have moved beyond that, and 5D people are not better than 3D people. I will say that until the day that I die, and then come back later and haunt everybody and continue to say that because it's so important. 5D people are not better than 3D people. They're just a little bit further along in the journey. That's not better, it's just different. They're just in a different place. So then you have 5D people, right, who have learned how to grow past that, and they are more focused in here, right? They could kind of care less about other people and what's going on out there, and it's more like learning and healing and growing and focusing on here and clearing your own shadows, right? And just trying to be a better human. And then you have care and compassion for people out here when you look outside of yourself, and it's not like attacking, and you're not really taking things personally. That's more of a 5D energy. Now there's a lot more to it, but it's a short video. So you've got these two groups of people existing like as literal neighbors right here on this planet, and that's because we are in the middle of this great energetic separation. You know how we talk about the 3D to 5D split and 5D is the new earth? It's happening. We're in kind of the end stages of that, and before somebody asks me when is the split gonna happen, we don't know. We don't have a date yet for it. And if some psychic comes on here and says I know the date and it's gonna be this date at this time, they're full of freaking baloney. I'm telling you what, because it depends on the energetic climate of humanity. And it depends on how many people have a higher vibration, right? How many people are learning how to heal and grow and work on themselves. That's what it's dependent upon. So we're getting a significantly closer, but there's not like a date yet, right? It's not like that. So 3D, 5D, if you have the 3D and you have the 5D, they're kind of overlapping. So this is when they overlap completely. We're like here. My guides corrected me. I was too close together. We're like here in this state, right? And so they're overlapping. They're in the same space, but they're going to pull apart. It's like when a cell divides, right? And a cell divides and they're still like connected a little bit. We're like in that stage where we're still overlapping. And it's this like the Venn diagram middle part. Think of it like a glass wall, a big, giant, thick glass wall between you and the other group of vibrational people. No matter whether you're 3D or you're 5D, it doesn't matter. We all have this glass wall, which means the people on the other side of that glass wall literally don't affect you. They're not a part of your world. They're not a part of your energy. And I know that's really hard to understand, but just stick with me for a second. So they're on the other side of this glass wall. Now, if you decide to change your energy to match the energy of those on the other side of the wall, then you will match that energy, and then you go through the glass wall after a period of time, after you've changed your base vibration, and you enter that energy with the other group, okay? It can go both ways. It can go both ways. You can go to 5D from 3, and you can go to 3D from 5. It just depends on your energy and where you're focused. Now, I'm not saying like if you're 5D energy and you have one really bad day and you get really pouty for like a day or even 2 or even 3, that doesn't flip you back into the 3D. It takes significantly more work to go from a higher vibration to a low vibration, and your higher self, your inner voice, is going to be screaming at you the whole time. You can't do it on accident, okay? You can't do it on accident. But from the 3D to the 5D, it's a little bit easier to go from 3D to 5D because it's a more natural progression. So if you are on the 3D side and you're looking at these people on the 5D side going, I don't understand. Like, I have so much trauma and I have so many shadows and I don't understand. And I really want to get there. Just look to them for examples, right? That's all you have to do. And the more that you can embody the behavior that you see and clear your own hurt and trauma and stop wearing your trauma like a badge of honor and just heal it so you can become the best version of yourself, the closer and closer and closer you get to that. Now, you don't have to be completely 100% healed, right? I'm living in a 5D state and I still have shadows. I just deal with them. I don't let them control my life. I don't let them rule me. I deal with them as soon as I can, right? That's just the definition of living in 5D. Being aware enough to recognize when you have a shadow and then being able to clear it and move through that energy. So when you are looking from one vibration into the other, you can move through that glass wall, but unless you are actively choosing to move through that glass wall, the other side of what you're on doesn't affect you at all. Like, not one bit, not one freaking iota, unless you decide to become emotionally involved in what's happening over there. And as the separation, as the split continues to grow and grow and grow and gets further and further and further apart, we get closer to that point where it goes pop, right, and it just separates. That wall, that glass wall, is getting thicker and thicker and thicker. So then it does take a little bit more effort, the thicker the wall is, to switch from one side to the other, whichever way you want to go. But it gets thicker and thicker and thicker. And then eventually, when the split is finalized, we will not be able to physically see the others because we will exist on different densities. Like, there's the third density and there's the fifth density. We will exist literally on different densities. We'll not be able to visualize them at all. And a lot of you are going, oh, that sounds like the rapture. Yeah, where do you think religion got the story? Spirituality was here first, way before religion. Religion is more of a modern idea in the history of humanity. Spirituality had this, and then religion goes, oh, that's the rapture, and made it a very scary story. It's actually not a scary story. It's amazing, right? It's really good. Before the split, there is this like natural falling away of energy. So it's not like that movie where people are driving cars and they just disappear and cars crash and there's fire and brimstone and all these things. That's fear mongering. That's not a thing. What happens is there's a gradually falling apart while the energy is falling apart, right? It's a very natural falling apart. That's why you are seeing people separate from their families more than they ever have before. That's why there's an even higher divorce rate all over the world, because people are realizing, I don't have to put up with this crap. I can actually be happier on my own. That's why parents and children are separating and going different ways, because they just don't exist on the same frequency, and it's natural. It makes sense to slowly separate from those that don't match your energy. It's becoming harder and harder and harder to maintain close relationships with people who are on different sides of this glass wall. And that's natural, that's normal, because the people who are in 3D, it's time for them to focus on their 3D energy so they can learn and grow and heal at whatever pace they want. And for the 5D to continue to evolve and learn and grow and heal and not pay attention to that low vibrational energy that's actually not affecting them at all, right? So it's important to know the energy is separating. Whoever's on the other side of the glass wall doesn't affect you at all. And the more that you grow, the more you get further and further on your own from that glass wall, the less and less and less you see of that 3D energy. We can literally see these other frequencies right now. And a lot of you are not realizing that you're seeing the frequencies. You'd think you're just seeing behavior, but behavior is a direct reflection of these frequencies that people are in. So if you are seeing people behave in what you would consider a lower vibrational way, they are of a different frequency than you, and that is okay. And if you are seeing people who are behaving in like this really patient, like abnormally kind, very loving way, and you're like, what is the deal with that? They're existing at a different frequency than you, right? So you just have to choose which frequency feels best to you for your energy, and there's no wrong answer, right? There's no wrong answer. Choose the one that feels best for you, because whatever feels best for you is teaching you something that you need to learn. That's it. One is not better than the other. What questions do you guys have? Drop them in the comments.